So let's go. Today, we are very, very lucky to have two very powerful professor to come and share with us what is about Xeniji, what is about fermented food, how it can help our body so we can be more aware of our health. So right now, right here, we have these awardees of Magna Cancer Research Award 2013, editorial board member of Food Research International, Elsevier, and evidence-based complementary and alternative medicine in Hindawi, as well as he published more than 200 researches and review articles in international SCI journals in the field of immunology, microbiology, pharmacology, natural products, molecular biology, cancer biology. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let us not wait anymore, okay? Without further ado, let us welcome Associate Professor Dr. Yeap Eng. He is the Assistant Dean in China Asian College of Marine Sciences in Xiamen University, Malaysia. Let us welcome Professor Dr. Yeap.
Hi everyone. Thank you, MC, for the great introductions. Okay, so maybe I can start to share my screen to let us go through the short introductions about the topics. Okay. Hi everyone. Thanks specifically to 𝐿KEN and also for the 𝐿KEN's team to arrange for this talk. Okay, so it's my honor to be here, okay, to introduce my connections and my chemistry together with Xeniji and maybe even with 𝐿KEN as well. Okay, so our titles today is bioactive fermented functional food, particularly talking about the Xeniji. Okay. So in today's sharing, I'm going to share with everyone what is actually first is our experience with 𝐿KEN team together with the Xeniji product specifically. And the second part is I'm going to tell about the basic information related to the fermented products. And third, we are going to look through and walk through the importance of functionality. It means that the effect that we can actually get after we have consumed the Xeniji as your healthy supplements. Okay, so first let us start with why I decided to conduct research on the Xeniji. Actually, our background is before I joined the current position and my current appointment in the Xiamen University, actually we have started this project. Okay, it's a communication and also a regional research team from MARDI and UPN. We have been focusing on the fermented functional food, particularly for past 5 to 10 years, focus on the things including on the formulations of the fermented product, and then standardization and profiling. Okay, why standardization is so important is because we want the products, the healthy products, to have a standard effect. Okay, and the effect must be consistent from batch to batch. So this is a qualified fermented products to appear as a functional food ingredients, okay, over the market. And I'm very confident that Xeniji is one of the products that having a very high standards and also a very good profile. Okay, and what is actually bioactivities? Bioactivities is actually the scientific terms talking about the functionality. Okay, because in the scientific terms, we seldom use functionality. We will mention it as a bioactivities. Okay, so our research team focus on the formulation, standardization, or profiling together with the functionality test of the natural products. Then what is actually the unexpected findings from our research is we actually found that Xeniji carry a vast diversity of the bioactive metabolites. Okay, maybe over here, let me quickly introduce what is the meaning of bioactive metabolites. Just now I've introduced what is actually bioactivity. Bioactivity is the functionality, and the bioactive metabolites are all those ingredients contributed to the functionality. Okay, so it means that when we are talking about we want to take the functional food, why we want to take functional food is because we want to get benefits from the ingredient inside the functional food that can actually benefit our health. So generally, Xeniji is actually rich in bioactive metabolites. From here, you can see these are the key ingredient metabolites that we have profiled from the Xeniji. Okay, and all of these ingredients, they work together in order to contribute to the effect, okay, the functionality. And all of them, they work together synergistically in order to train our body, not only immune system, but also our defense system. Okay, so we have to know that why the key ingredients are so important is because, and majority of them, you will notice that they are actually natural food, or the natural food ingredient, is because in terms of the plant, they are not like us, they cannot move freely. Okay, so they need to produce something like the secondary metabolites, okay, in order to defend themselves from the attack of the predators or the insects. So all those secondary metabolites, they are the key ingredients contributed to our effect. And from here, those secondary metabolites that used in the plant's defense system, we can actually benefit it from them when we actually consume the food. Okay, so where comes you may ask me where, and together with the microbe, after they break down the plant's secondary metabolite to further process it into a small active metabolites, then all of these can actually benefit to us. Okay, so up to now, maybe you will know what is actually the principle of the functional food and also the functional fermented food. Then let us differentiate between the enzyme and also the enzyme catalase. Okay, so what is actually enzyme? Enzyme is a protein. Okay, in our protein, in our body, okay, our cells, we contain a lot of proteins. Okay, and those proteins, they are very key function. One of the key function is it will actually speed up the metabolisms, the process that in our cells in order to generate energy or to do the detoxifications, okay, or to build up the new key ingredients, including some of the amino acids that we can actually make by our own. Okay, some of the amino acids we cannot make by our own. That's why we have to consume from plant. But some majority of the amino acid we can actually produce by ourselves. But all of this process, we need the help of the enzyme. Okay, so without enzyme, those process still can naturally happen, but it will take very, very long time. So imagine if one day our body is lacking of enzyme. Okay, what will happen is even we consume our rice, okay, in order to generate energy. With the help of the enzyme, okay, we can actually get the energy within short period of time. But without the presence of the enzyme, maybe we need thousands of years, then only we can generate the same amount of the energy. So you can see how important is the function of the enzyme. And always remember, enzyme is actually part of the protein. Okay, enzyme is part, some majority of the enzyme in our body are actually made up by the protein. Okay, so what is actually the enzyme catalase? Enzyme catalase is something like Xeniji, where when we consume, they can actually either replace the function of the enzyme in order to maintain the homeostasis or the balance of the metabolism, or they can actually enhance the enzyme activity. Okay, later I'm going to show you some of the key enzyme catalase function by the Xeniji. Okay, so generally we have to know how to differentiate between the enzyme that naturally occur in our body and the enzyme catalase. In our body system, we are actually having a lot of antioxidant enzyme. Okay, those enzymes like catalase is one of it. Okay, and then we have the SOD. Okay, we have GSH. Okay, and then glutathione peroxidase. Those are the protein enzyme. Okay, that generally our body can produce it by metabolism process as well. Okay, and the good thing is concurrently we also can take in natural antioxidant from the food supplement such as vitamin C, vitamin E, okay, or beta carotene, all those are actually potential metabolites that can actually function similarly like those antioxidant enzymes in our body, help to neutralize, okay, generally through our energy metabolism process, or even those free radicals that come from our daily consumed food. Okay, but always remember, yeah, we know vitamin C, vitamin E, beta carotene, they are actually potent, particularly vitamin C. Okay, a lot of us, we know how to consume it. We get a good brand of the vitamin C, okay, and then we consume it. But the problem with those vitamins are they are very potent and unstable antioxidant. It means that if anything happens, they will oxidize first. Okay, so under that situation, yeah, good vitamin C, vitamin E are actually good for our health, but the problem is they are not stable. So maybe when we consume, how many percent we can actually benefit from it is a big question. So what are actually a better option? A better option is we consume some of the active metabolites from the functional food, which can actually enhance the body to produce the or to synthesize the antioxidant enzymes, such as the GSH, SOD, catalase. Okay, so Xeniji is one of the functional food that carry this function. Okay, so the subsequent content of today's sharing, including how we actually test the quality and also the efficacy of the Xeniji. And then the last part will include the benefits of the Xeniji based on what we have actually found out from our in vitro and also the in vivo analysis. Okay, so for the benefits, including we have tested for the liver protections, anti-inflammations, and then how Xeniji related to the stress level, and also how it actually help to fight diabetes, and also how it actually strengthen the immune system. Okay, so always remember, Xeniji is actually being produced through a natural fermentations, okay, and the duration of the fermentation is more than 1,200 days, okay, and so it's a very good and complete fermentations. So you can see we have a very good quality of the starting ingredient, and then we have a long fermentation process, and most importantly is we use, let me go to the slide, okay, we use high variety of the probiotics, LAB, lactic acid bacteria, and all of these microorganisms, they actually work together in order to produce the Xeniji. Okay, so what is actually fermentation? Okay, because when you're actually acquiring for this Xeniji product, maybe you will try to ask yourself, what is actually fermentation? Because some people also tell us that, okay, then things like alcohol is also fermented product. Then what is the difference between fermentation in the Xeniji and also fermentation in those food ingredients? Okay. So first of all, we have to know that fermentation technology is a very old ancient technology. Okay, even before we know about what is biotechnology, as before century, where people know, they even know technology is the use of organisms, and these organisms are mainly microorganisms, including bacteria and also yeast. Okay, so the yeast is the same that you use to make bread at home. Okay, so yeast, we use it in order to produce alcohol. Okay, and then in between, we also use a lot of either yeast or bacteria in order to produce a product like the food, pharmaceutical, and beverages, okay, in the large scale volume. And even naturally, some of the natural fermentation may also occur in certain food. Okay, like we know that kimchi is also a type of the fermented food ingredient. Yeah, they are actually being produced as a natural fermentation process. Okay, so common questions people ask me related to fermented products, including all fermented products under the same categories are the same, and then all fermented products are good for health, and third is fermentations strengthen the antioxidant or total phenolic content of the raw ingredient. Okay, so when we wish to discuss about these three questions. We have to look into specificity and also the product case by case. So generally, my answer is not really. Okay, always remember, not all fermented products under the same category are the same. Okay, not all the fermented products are good for health, and then fermentation may not strengthen the antioxidant activity. Okay, later I will briefly explain to you. Okay, so here I give you one of our key findings from our research team, where we collected a lot of the lactobacillus species from one type of the Malaysian fermented food. And then you can see we have the isolate ABC and the J. Okay, and then we do a comparison. From here, you can see not all of them are carrying the same antioxidant capacity. Okay, so these findings actually supported my conclusion of all fermented products under the same category are the same. The answer is no. Okay, it greatly depends on the products, okay, the strain of the bacteria that use, and also the duration of the fermentation. And that's the reason why I want to emphasize that in the Xeniji, okay, the producer, they actually use 15 types of different probiotics with the 3 prebiotics ingredients in order to get the best fermentation output. Okay, and what is actually the difference between probiotic and prebiotic is probiotic are those bacteria that are good for our gastrointestinal health, okay, good for our health, okay, and then prebiotic are the food for the probiotics, okay. So the microbe, with a good microbe, they will consume prebiotic as food. So in the Xeniji fermentations, they are not only concerned about the benefits of the fermentation, but also they take care of the LAB, okay, the good bacteria, by supplying them with the prebiotics. Okay, so why we want to run external fermentation? Generally, if you are very healthy, or if we are very healthy, we will generally contain similar types, okay, similar genus of this LAB in our body. But bear in mind, not all of us, we will always have a very healthy state of the body, where this will affect our gastrointestinal microorganism, because we know that nowadays, we know that our body contains a lot of the small creature, all those microbes, they live happily with us. If we are actually healthy and happy, then we will have this. But if you are not healthy, okay, we are facing some of the unhealthy condition, diabetes, okay, or obesity, then the diversity of the microbe will change. Bad microbe will dominate more than the good microbe. Okay, so that's the reason why if we cannot do the breakdown by ourselves and our friend in our body, then this external fermentation will help us. This bacteria will help us to break down, okay, all those metabolites, things including organic acid, okay, like the citric acid. Citric acid, I know there's a lot in the citrus fruit, like the oranges, okay, lemon, lime, but it's very hard to consume a lot, okay. And with this fermentation process, they can actually strengthen it, okay. Acetic acid is also good. A lot of us, we already know, okay. Consume vinegar are actually good, but it's very hard to consume at a very high concentration to reach the benefits dosage. And then we also have the essential amino acid being produced through the fermentation process. Okay, and we have a lot of the non-essential amino acid as well. And most importantly, you can see we have GABA, okay, non-protein amino acid, things like GABA, and vitamins like the beta-carotene B9 and the B and K. C is a little bit hard to preserve, so I don't focus on C. But beta-carotene, D3 and K1, they are actually important vitamins, and they are actually good for our health. Okay, and over here, I want to emphasize that GABA is very, very important, because already there are scientific findings showing that GABA is actually good in regulating the hypertension. Okay, they will benefits and they will help to lower the hypertension effect. Okay, so how we actually test the quality of the Xeniji? The first things that we do is we use an analytical chemistry. We use instrument to separate the ingredients that present inside the Xeniji, and then we found that it actually contains this list of the active ingredient. Okay, and those are actually the list that we can detect, and there are actually many more of other beneficial metabolites that we cannot detect from the current machine. Okay, So how all those active ingredients, this active ingredient can benefits to our health is, we know that, okay, if we are actually having a bad lifestyle previously, but now we want to change it, sometimes it's very difficult. So we may need some help from the functional products. Okay, so those lifestyle that can actually affect our health, such as the smoking, obesity, okay, sedentary lifestyle, okay, unhealthy eating, okay, over drinking, those are actually always not sufficient sleep. Those will actually give stress to our body, particularly to the liver, which need time in order to do detoxifications. So in our study, we have shown that Xeniji actually can help to strengthen the liver function, liver detoxification function. Okay, from here you can see that one of the key function is it actually can enhance the effect of the ADH and the ALDH. These two are the enzymes that help in the detoxification, particularly detoxification of the alcohol. Okay, so we know that Xeniji can actually help to enhance the current enzyme. And concurrently, we also know that Xeniji contains antioxidants and it can enhance the antioxidant enzyme that I have shown you previously in the pictures. Okay, and from this analysis, you can see that the animals that are fed with, this is actually a healthy animal's liver. Okay, so the unhealthy animals' liver, we can see there are actually some pathological or changes in their liver. Okay, it's totally different. And from here, we observe that when the animals treat with the Xeniji, their liver actually convert back to very similar with the normal condition. So from here, we conclude that yes, Xeniji actually can help to protect the liver when the animals are actually stressed with high concentration of the alcohol. Okay, so other than that, we also test the Xeniji with the animals that are developed with the type 2 diabetes. And we know that diabetes can always link with many other diseases, including cardiovascular diseases, nerve damage, kidney damage, eye damage, foot damage, skin irritations, and then even can lead to the Alzheimer's development. Okay, so from here, we notice that Xeniji can actually help to enhance the blood sugar regulations. One of the key significance of the development of the type 2 diabetes is our body cannot absorb the sugar. So when it cannot absorb, it will appear in the blood. So under that situation, Xeniji can actually help to the cells in order to absorb the sugar into the cells, then they can run the metabolism. Okay, so this is actually showing a synergistic effect, okay, a better effect when we actually put it together with all those conventional anti-diabetic drugs. Okay, so from here, we know that Xeniji can actually help to reduce the insulin resistance, okay, or it can actually reduce the blood sugar. Okay, and from here, we also notice that it can actually help to regulate the liver glycogen's expression, because there's a very important condition where our liver must be able to digest the glycogen. So if the liver cannot digest the glycogen, it's because of the enzyme cannot degrade, okay, the sugar, complex sugar convert into the glycogen. So from here, we notice that Xeniji can actually help to convert and synthesize the sugar back into the glycogen in the liver. So it means that there is a restore of the liver function in the type 2 diabetes animals. Okay. So concurrently, we also tested for the potentials of the Xeniji in regulating the hypertension, because we know that Xeniji contains GABA, okay, which is a very potent anti-hypertension compound. Okay, and from here, we also can see that this Xeniji can actually help to reduce the ACE activity. ACE activity reductions can actually help to reduce the blood pressure. Okay, so this is also one of the function. We test it directly with the enzyme activity in vitro in the lab. Okay, and lastly is we also test on the animals whether after they feed with the Xeniji, do we see whether they have a stronger immune system. Then generally we observe that there is an increase of the CD4 T cells. CD4 T cells are the helper T cells that play a very important role in order to regulate, okay, in order to train the B to produce antibody. Okay, so when we get things like when we get the vaccine, okay, the vaccine, how it actually reacts, yes, we need B cells to produce antibody, but concurrently, this B cell need to get the training from the T cells, then only they can recognize the antigens, and then they can start to produce the antibody. So the B cells that without the T cells training, they won't produce a long-term memory. So T cells is very, very important. And T cells will promote the natural killer cells activity and the cytolytic T lymphocytes activity, okay, to defend us from the virus invasion or even the bacterial invasions. Okay, so from here, there are some hints showing that Xeniji can actually strengthen the immunity. Okay, and lastly is in the animals that are developed with the type 2 diabetes, we also observe that there's a reduced fat accumulations, okay, and this is due to the regulations of these SREBP1 genes, okay, and these genes play a very important in converting and storing of the fat and the cholesterol. Okay, so Xeniji can actually play with this function. Okay, so in summary, we know that Xeniji is not only an enzyme, but it's actually working as an enzyme catalyst, where it can actually strengthen the enzyme activity and it helps to replace part of the enzyme activity as well. Okay, and the factors contributed to all this effect is actually coming from the vast diversity of the active ingredients. Okay, the active ingredients and the microorganisms consume those active ingredients, break them into small molecules to allow our body to absorb it in a better way. And subsequently, we get a better liver protections, and then we get the effect of strengthened immune system, reduce inflammation, and to improve the glucose metabolisms. Okay, so that's all from my sharings. Okay. Thank you, everyone.